Alright, chat. So we have the 7 levels of racism. The racial, the I'm trying to make. Hold on, y'all. Whatever. I'm trying to forward. Listen, 7 levels of racism. Let's get into the video, man. Like, subscribe. I post every day. Let's get into it, man.
Every level of racist in America explained. Level 1, the Karen. Let's start with everyone's
Yo, I
favorite,
can't gotta
the
go.
accidental racist.
Ew. She is not a customer. She is just some bum that wandered in off the street.
The Karen,
Just a doorman
the
skating.
person who swears they're not racist while saying the most racist stuff imaginable. New York, 2020.
New York.
Amy Cooper sees a black man bird watching. Bird watching. And somehow her brain goes straight to 911. There's an African American man threatening my life, she says, voice trembling like she's being chased by a serial killer instead of someone watching birds. These are your I have black friends people. They'll compliment your English like it's shocking you can speak. They'll touch your hair without asking. They'll tell you you're not like other black people and think that's a compliment.
Yeah, the people who be thinking that's a compliment. They're like, oh, you not like the other blacks.
Philadelphia,
Shut up, fool.
2018.
Philly.
Two black men commit
Big
the
Philly.
heinous crime of existing in.
Do you speak English or French? Do you have a
Chat,
university
I'm
degree?
at it. I'm at this. Don't worry,
Educated
chat.
professionals are in high
We're
demand
gonna
for
we're
jobs
gonna edit
all
this
across.
out.
Let's start with
All right, editor.
everyone's favorite, the
Best editor
accidental
on
racist.
YouTube. Best editor
Ew.
on what?
Amy Cooper sees a straight to 911, she says, voice trembling. They'll tell you you're not like other black people and think that's a
They not
compliment.
like us. They not like us. They not like us. Did y'all hear that
Philadelphia,
the first time? Philly,
2018.
big Philly.
Two
Alright, we
black,
going
the
back.
manager, calls time of existing in a Starbucks without buying coffee yet. The manager calls the cops. They get arrested for waiting. For waiting. Level 1 racists don't burn crosses. They just make your everyday life exhausting. 68% of workers deal with microaggressions regularly. But these people swear it's all misunderstandings. They're not trying to be racist, they're just really bad at not being racist. Parents literally have to teach kindergartners how to survive encounters with level 1 racists. But sure, it's just awkwardness, right? Here's the thing about accidental racists. They're everywhere, but they're symptoms of something way more organized. Level 2, the gatekeeper. Level 2 doesn't shout slurs. They smile politely and say, unfortunately, that position has been filled, while your resume is still warm from the printer. These are your HR managers, loan officers, real estate agents, and school administrators. They don't hate black people. They just happen to find reasons why black people don't quite fit. Chicago, 1930s. Government officials literally drew red lines around black neighborhoods like they were radioactive zones. Banks couldn't lend there.
This is the plague.
Too
Niggas,
risky, they
niggas,
said.
niggas, niggas think this shit
Cool.
the plague.
Totally
Cause
normal behavior for
what?
professionals. Long Island, 2019.
Long Island,
Real estate agents get caught on hidden camera.
bro.
They show
2019, bro. Nigga, that's a little bit ago.
white couples the dream home and tell black couples with identical finances that everything's already pending. Magic. It's almost like nothing changed except the paperwork got prettier. Today's gatekeepers call it culture fit in hiring. They point to credit scores without mentioning how those scores got tanked by discriminatory lending. Black home ownership sits at 46.4% compared to 75.8% for white families. Gee, wonder how
Gee,
that happened. Must be personal choice, right? School district administrators draw enrollment boundaries like military strategists, somehow always managing to separate rich white kids from poor black kids. It's not about race, it's about property values. Yeah. And how exactly
yeah.
do you think those property values got that way? The gatekeeper is dangerous because they have institutional power and plausible deniability. They're not burning crosses, they're just following company policy that mysteriously always hurts the same people. But gatekeepers,
Mysteriously.
that's child's play. Sometimes they don't even bother with individual discrimination. Level 3, the colorblind. Level 3 is where we get really creative.
Mm.
Why write obviously racist laws when you can write colorblind ones that just happen to devastate black communities? Pure coincidence, obviously. These are your state legislators, federal congresspeople, and policy wonks. They craft laws that sound totally fair on paper, but work like surgical strikes against black communities. Washington, D.C., 1986. Congress decides crack, predominantly used in black communities, gets you 100 times the sentence of powder cocaine. Same drug, different packaging. But hey, the law doesn't mention
Whoa.
race, so totally fair, right? These lawmakers love voter ID requirements. Everyone should have ID. Sure, except ID costs money. DMVs are mysteriously rare in certain neighborhoods, and some folks work 3 jobs without time for bureaucratic field trips. But technically, colorblind. Mission accomplished. They fund
Wow. That's
algorithms for hiring
crazy.
and lending without checking for bias. Facial recognition error rate for light-skinned men, 0.8%. For darker-skinned women, 34.7%. But it's just math, so it must be objective. They're not racist. They just signed off on systems that learned from our totally not racist data. The modern policymaker
Wow.
creates mass incarceration that looks totally legitimate. Voter suppression that's technically legal. Algorithmic bias that scales discrimination to industrial levels, all while maintaining plausible deniability. They don't wear hoods. They wear suits and hide behind focus groups and polling data. But sometimes, elected officials drop the act entirely and just go full authoritarian. Level 4, the enforcer.
Mm.
Level 4 is where your own
Not
government
this
decides black
judge,
people
bro. I seen
organizing is
her,
a national
bro. She, bro. I hate this judge.
security threat. Not the Klan,
I done seen her.
not actual terrorists. People asking for equal rights. These are FBI agents, police chiefs, prosecutors, and intelligence officials who use the full power of the state to crush black leadership. California and Illinois, 1960s to 70s. FBI agents literally ran a program called COINTELPRO to neutralize black leadership. They didn't just spy, they actively
Wow.
sabotage, imprison, and assassinated civil rights leaders. Chicago, December 1969. FBI
Hmm.
agents give
Nice.
Chicago police a detailed floor plan of Fred Hampton's apartment. They coordinate a raid at 4 a.m. while he's sleeping and he gets shot in the head. 21 years old. His crime?
Damn,
Feeding
bro.
kids and he gets shot
Look
in the
at
head.
all the bullet
21
lines,
years
bro.
old.
Y'all see
His
that?
crime?
Yo, shit
Feeding kids
crazy.
breakfast and teaching community organizing. They bugged Martin Luther King Jr.'s hotel rooms, sent him anonymous letters telling him to, and the FBI director literally called him the most dangerous Negro in America.
Whoa.
These are federal agents. Think this is ancient history? Federal agents tracked Black Lives Matter organizers' cell phones, created fake social media accounts to monitor activists, and somehow, protesters keep ending up dead in cars and jail cells. But I'm sure it's all totally different now. Level 4 racists have badges, security clearances, and legal authority to destroy lives. They don't just discriminate, they wage war. Of course, when federal agents are too busy to handle things personally, there's always the street level enforcers. Level 5, the uniform. Level 5 is where the people
Street
sworn to
level.
protect and serve become the threat, with badges, guns, and legal immunity to do whatever they want. These aren't bad apples, they're products of departments with bad cultures, bad training, and bad incentives. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. Police officers don't just allow a white mob to destroy the wealthiest black community in America, they call in air support to drop bombs. Actual bombs on American citizens. Then they blame the victims. Ferguson, Missouri, 2014.
Shit,
The
bro.
Department of Justice finds
They just bombed them niggas. For what reason?
police officers were basically running a legal extortion racket, targeting black residents for traffic tickets to fund the city budget. Almost like taxation without representation, but with tasers. New York City, 2000s. Police officers conduct 700,000 stop and frisk encounters per year, 90% on black and Latino men. Hit rate for finding weapons? About 1%. So basically, legal harassment with a 99% failure rate. But hey, they had quotas to meet. These officers pull over black drivers at twice the rate during the day, but the disparity disappears at night when they can't see races clearly. They arrest black kids for the same infractions that get white kids warnings. They patrol black neighborhoods like occupying armies. Level 5 racists have legal authority to use violence while investigating themselves for misconduct. They don't burn crosses, they plant evidence and claim they feared for their lives. But uniform racism is still retail violence. When America really wants to get things
Retail
done,
violence.
we elect the people who write it into law. Level 6, the architect. Level 6 is
Mm,
where the cruelty becomes policy, not rogue cops or individual bigots. Elected officials who make oppression legal, systematic, and generational. These are governors, state legislators, Supreme Court justices, and federal officials who design the infrastructure of inequality. Virginia, 1705. State
1705.
legislators don't just legalize owning humans, they systematically strip away every possible right. Can't own property, can't learn to read, can't gather in groups, can't defend yourself, can't testify in court. They write a manual for creating a permanent underclass. After slavery ends, these officials create convict leasing. Alabama, Georgia, Texas legislators turn prisons into slavery with extra steps. Black men get arrested for vagrancy, aka existing while poor, and leased to plantations and mines. Death rates higher than actual slavery, but technically legal. North Carolina officials, 1929 to
That shit
1974, run
crazy,
forced
bro.
sterilization programs targeting undesirable
This is an
populations.
educational issue, man. Y'all, we gonna have a quiz, man. Y'all better study, man. You this part, man. This part coming up. Y'all better study. This shit gonna be in the quiz on Friday. Y'all better listen up.
Relations. Guess who that meant? They sterilized over 7,600 people, mostly black women, without consent. State-sponsored medical abuse with a legal framework. Oregon
Law and order.
legislators, 1844 to
That's
1926,
law and order, though.
banned black people from living in the entire state. Not just slavery, straight up apartheid. Whites only carved into the state constitution. The liberal West Coast, everybody.
Let's
Modern
go.
officials build highways straight through black neighborhoods, like surgical strikes. I-10 through New Orleans, I-95 through Miami's Overtown. Urban renewal, they call it. Urban removal is more accurate. Level 6 racists don't just discriminate, they engineer society to make discrimination automatic. They don't wear hoods, they wear robes and sit in marble buildings. But even legal oppression requires paperwork and process. Sometimes people just say screw it and go full terrorist. Level 7, the
Level
terrorist.
7.
Level 7 is where we stop pretending there are rules. Domestic terrorists who use public violence to keep entire communities in line through sheer fear. These are Klan members, white extremists, white nationalists, and lone wolf shooters who believe in racial holy war. Wilmington, North Carolina, 1898. White extremist leaders literally overthrow a legally elected government and exile hundreds of residents. Not a riot. A coordinated coup by businessmen and politicians who decided democracy had gone too far. Rosewood, Florida, 1923.
Wow.
Klan members and local vigilantes descend on an entire black town after a white woman claims assault. They burn it to the ground, end the lives of residents, and survivors scatter into the swamps. The town
What
never
movie is that? I
recovers.
kind of want to
It's
watch this
erased
right
from
now.
maps. East St. Louis, Illinois, 1917. White mobs kill over 100 black residents and burn 300 homes. The North isn't exempt. Racism doesn't respect geography. Between 1877 and 1950, lynch mobs end the lives of over 4,000 black
Damn,
Americans.
that's a tough
Public
ass
spectacles
statue,
with
though.
postcards sold as souvenirs. Families bringing picnic lunches to watch torture. This is the foundation everything else is built on. Charleston Church, 2015. Buffalo Supermarket, 2022. Jacksonville Dollar General, 2023. Lone gunman citing replacement theory, targeting black spaces specifically. Level 7 racists don't hide behind policies or procedures. They commit terrorism in broad daylight and call it patriotism. They are the logical conclusion of everything that came before. The Karen didn't invent racism, she just inherited the infrastructure. Today's results? Every level is operational. Karens in every workplace making daily life exhausting. Gatekeepers in every institution finding reasons to exclude. Policymakers writing colorblind laws that target with precision. Government agents surveilling and suppressing. Police officers enforcing the hierarchy with violence. Architects designing systematic oppression. Terrorists using fear as a weapon. Median white family has nearly 10 times the wealth of the median black family. Black students still disciplined at 3 times the rate. Voting rights under attack in multiple states. Same ladder, different people climbing it. Every type feeds the others. Karens normalize casual racism. Gatekeepers institutionalize it. Policymakers legalize it. Enforcers weaponize it. Uniforms legitimize it. Architects systematize it. Terrorists enforce it with violence. So here's the assignment. Which type of racist runs your area? Drop your state plus the level in the comments. We'll pin the worst examples and probably do a whole series on how other countries built their own versions of this hierarchy. Because here's the thing about America. We didn't invent racism, but we definitely perfected the distribution
Yeah,
system.
we.
Subscribe
I'm
if you
saying
want to see
we.
how
Like
deep
I'm
this
from
rabbit
America.
hole
I'm not from
goes.
America, bro. But like,
Trust me,
this shit
we
is
just getting
crazy.
started.
Hey man, little educational ish for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? There will definitely be a quiz on this on Friday, so I hope y'all was listening, man. If y'all need to rewatch, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying like, subscribe. New videos every day, you know how I get, man. We gone.